This is All India Radio. Please stand by for our next program.
This is All India Radio. You will now hear comments from the press. The Hindu, in its editorial titled The Heat Moves North, says, in the fourth phase of the 17th Lok Sabha election, 72 constituencies across 9 states and including parts of Anantnag in Jammu and Kashmir went to the polls on Monday. The BJP had won 45 of these 71 seats in the 16th Lok Sabha and its allies held another 11, indicating how critical this phase was for the incumbent dispensation. In the remaining phases too, this pattern will continue. With the fourth phase, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, 2 states in which the BJP and the Congress are in straight contests, started voting. In 2014, the BJP had won all 25 seats in Rajasthan and in Madhya Pradesh, 27 out of 29 seats. Violence in parts of West Bengal cast a shadow on the process and pointed to a volatile situation in the state that could lead to more violence in the coming phases. The BJP's designs are to pick up a good number of seats in West Bengal to partly compensate for the losses that it is certain to face in the Hindi heartland, where it had peaked in 2014. The Election Commission has ordered an FIR against the BJP's Asansol candidate Babul Supriyo for trespassing into a polling booth and intimidating an officer. The EC must remain alert to ensure that polling remains free of violence and intimidation. As the election moves to the last 3 phases, the BJP and its opponents appear to be fine-tuning their strategies. The minimum income guarantee scheme promised by the Congress in its manifesto has not become a defining topic, much to the party's disappointment. The Samajwadi Party, which is in alliance with the Bahujan Samaj Party, has replaced its candidate against Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Varanasi in an effort to challenge him on the issue of national security, his key talking point. The Times of India, in its editorial titled Break the Silence, writes, pre-monsoon rainfall from March to April has shown a 27% deficiency. Separately, data put out by government shows that water levels in India's major reservoirs and river basins have fallen to 21% of its average of the last decade. These signs of water stress are not one-off. They represent growing evidence that one of the biggest long-term challenges we face as a society is to reverse the steadily declining availability of water. India is in the midst of a water crisis. Close to half the country, about 600 million people, faces high to extreme water stress. The ongoing election campaign explains why the situation in India has worsened over the years. According to Niti Aayog, 75% of households don't have drinking water on their premises. It's not just access which is a problem. The quality of water is abysmal. Yet, this critical issue seldom features in any election speech and is never a key campaign issue. Alongside, governments have for decades designed policies which worsen the situation. Agriculture consumes most of India's water resources. However, water isn't placed at the heart of policy. Be it through minimum support price or electricity policy, rational use of water is discouraged. A key facet of water policy must be induction of technology to promote reuse. Recycling does take place in India, but it's nowhere close to the level needed. Elsewhere, recycling has moved to another level. Hindustan Times, in its editorial titled An Encouraging Communique, comments, the Second Belt and Road Forum BRF concluded in Beijing last Saturday. The signature foreign policy move of Chinese President Xi Jinping, the Belt and Road Initiative BRI, is a massive undertaking in which Beijing provides loans to other countries for various kinds of projects ranging from connectivity to energy. The overland part, the belt, and the maritime part, the road, together aim to connect Asia, Africa and Europe into a large economic entity that works to China's advantage. Over time, the BRI has faced mounting international criticism. China used the second BRF to address them. Since its inception to 2013, a number of countries have jumped onto the BRI bandwagon. The primary reason? High demand for capital, especially in emerging economies with massive infrastructure deficit. The joint communique issued on Saturday specifically addresses all the controversial aspects of the BRI. It pledges respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all the states involved. The communique talks about extensive consultations, shared and mutual benefits, importance of the rule of law, openness, transparency, inclusiveness, and level playing field. All the cooperation under BRI, the communique notes, will be open, green and clean and will pursue high standard, people-centered and sustainable development. Those were the comments from